My name is Lamar Gibson. This is Com 101. These are the note cards, front and back. And this is my audience. How do you change social structure? How do you fight and essentially overcome something that has been ingrained in the culture of America since its inception? You do this by creating something this nation has never seen before. You make it so big and so bright that everyone has to pay attention to it. Once, black entertainers who performed in Las Vegas weren't allowed access to the luxury hotels on the Strip. Not until the first interracial hotel, the MOULIN ROUGE, opens its doors. I'm going to discuss why there is a need for such a hotel like this and its impact on ending segregation on the Strip. I'm going to begin with why there was a need for a hotel like the MOULIN ROUGE. Between 1946 and 1952, the Sands, the Flamingo, the Sahara were all built, catering to a wealthy, all-white patronage. African Americans who worked in these establishments only found work or employment as menial labor workers with low wages. Nevada was very segregated at that time. Ernest Bracely, author of the Moulin Rouge and Black Rights of Las Vegas, told KNPR, State of Nevada, blacks could only go through the entrance of the hotel on the Strip from the rear and could not go through the front door. Black entertainers were no different. Louis Armstrong, Nat King Cole, Ella Fitzgerald, all headline shows on the Strip, and yet had to enter through the kitchen and exit the same way. Las Vegas used to be called the Mississippi of the West because of the racism that took place in this fair city. At that time, there was an influx of Southern visitors who casino owners did not want to offend by having them forced to interact with people of color. Around this time, the nation was changing though, and this type of treatment would not last. There was something on the horizon that would help change these archaic rules. With President Harry Truman ending segregation in the U.S. military in 1948 and the landmark Brown versus Board of Education ruling that segregation in schools was unconstitutional, 6 years later, a wave of abolishing remnants of Jim Crow was sweeping the land. Led by Los Angeles real estate tycoon Alexander Bisno, several white businessmen invested in the idea of a hotel that only cared about the color of what was in your pocket. It was called America's first interracial hotel. On May 24, 1955, the Moulin Rouge opens its doors. Joe Louis welcomed patrons personally into the hotel. In attendance were actors like Harry Belafonte, Academy Award winner Edwin Robinson, and actress Tallulah Bankhead. On the main stage, the Platters and the tap dancing Hines kids. But what was a true highlight was the after shows. The greats in attendance, Sinatra, Billie Holiday, would join Nat King Cole or Louis Armstrong to take turns singing solo or in a group. Michael Green, professor of history at the College of Southern Nevada, stated, "Imagine it, the great talent of that time, white and black, jamming and winging it at a time when black entertainers could not set foot in lounges on the Strip." With the Moulin Rouge becoming the trailblazer for desegregation in Las Vegas, the new frontier would allow for the first time Sammy Davis Jr.'s stepmother and grandmother to see his performance. Harry Belafonte chose this same year to institute his own form of integration by jumping into a white-only pool. Instead of the patrons calling for security, they grabbed their cameras to commemorate this momentous moment. Unfortunately, 6 months later, into this inaugural year, the Moulin Rouge shut down. The Rouge dancers and dealers could not find work, and couldn't find similar work. Instead, they had to return back to the back of the house jobs. It was like the Moulin Rouge had not existed. Black entertainers who were shown human decency at the Moulin Rouge did not find that at other resorts. Nat King Cole, the headliner of the Thunderbird, getting paid $4,500 a week, was forced to room and board at a rundown hotel where the Moulin Rouge had closed. In March of 1960, community leaders from the West Coast threatened a mass march. The mayor, police chief, and others sat down with McMillan and West contingents. They hashed out a pact known as the Moulin Rouge Agreement, officially ending segregation on the Strip. Since then, we really had no racial problems, says Clady White, director of Oral History Research Center at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I'm joking. In 1961, Governor Sawyer named former Moulin Rouge employee Bob Bailey to head up the commission to investigate racial bias. The Moulin Rouge was one of the most important landmarks in Las Vegas history. As Ernest Bracey expressed, the Moulin Rouge touched upon the hearts and minds of a lot of people in this town. It simply said blacks and whites could commingle without killing and fighting each other, and it could be a pleasant place to be. Sometimes it takes generations to make an impound impression on history. Other times it only takes a moment. As filmmaker Stan Armstrong stated, in that moment, the Moulin Rouge changed the world. And then the world moved on. This is my audience again.